Welcome to the Pack Attack Jackpot. It's Monday, and it's almost Christmas, boys and girls. I hope you all have been nice, because Santa Claus will know. Are you on the nice list, or are you on the naughty list? I'm pretty sure I know what list I'm on. Anyhow, today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to do a podcast version of the Pack Attack. We're going to talk about the PSA submissions via your phone. PSA now is taking submissions over the phone with their phone app, which is pretty cool. And also now they took over the eBay vault. It's now called the PSA vault. If you want to do some sales and stuff through there too, and actually they will actually hold your cards for you. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so I created a podcast about that. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So let's not waste no time and let's get into this podcast. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Sit back and listen, baby.
All right, so today we're going deep on PSA card grading using their new mobile app.
Oh, wow.
And specifically, we have this awesome YouTuber who documented the whole process.
Right.
So we're talking like from submission all the way to getting the grades back and even selling.
Nice.
So if you've ever been curious about PSA grading, this is the deep dive.
It feels like everyone's talking about this app, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is it actually easier than using, the website or sending stuff in? Like,
Right.
How does it all work?
Exactly, and that's what we're going to find out.
Awesome.
This YouTuber, he actually said that using the app took him like half the time
Really?
compared to doing it online. So that's a win already.
That's huge, especially
Yeah.
if you, have a bunch of cards you want to get graded.
Right, exactly.
Like, who wants to spend all day, just on submissions?
No one has time for that.
Exactly.
He did mention that there were a couple times where the app like misidentified cards,
oh,
but he was able to fix it pretty easily. So, good.
it doesn't sound like a deal breaker.
That's good to know. Yeah, I mean, new tech, you always got those little bugs.
Yeah, exactly.
But as long as it's fixable, that's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. PSA is known for their service levels, right?
Right.
So this YouTuber, he went with their bulk grading special. It's like $17.99 a card at the time.
Okay.
But there's a catch with that. The declared value is capped at $4.99.
Oh, okay.
So that means, if you think any of your cards are worth more than that,
Right.
you're probably going to want to look at a higher service level.
Yeah. You don't want to lose out on potential value if something happens.
Exactly.
Like, what if it gets lost or damaged,
Exactly.
I want to make sure you're covered.
For sure. And the YouTuber had a good tip, actually.
Oh, yeah.
He recommended using a site called Card Ladder to look up the value of your cards before you submit them.
That's smart. So you know what you're dealing with. Exactly. So you can decide, okay, is this bulk submission really worth it for me?
Right.
Or do I need to go with a higher service level?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So it's like, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like insurance, right?
Exactly.
You don't insure your house for less than it's worth.
Right. Exactly. So let's talk about the actual submission process on the app.
Okay. Yeah.
What did our YouTuber do?
So he basically had to take pictures of each card through the app.
Okay.
And then, pick his service level, confirm the declared value, and that was it. Sent them off to PSA.
That's so easy.
Right.
And he submitted them on October 21st.
Okay.
And he got his grades back November 7th.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
Super fast, right?
Yeah, I remember waiting months for grades before.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So 2 weeks, that's impressive.
It's amazing.
Especially these days.
Yeah, totally. Now, once he got those grades, PSA gives you 3 options. You can have your cards shipped back home, you can send them to the eBay vault, or you can send them to the PSA vault.
Got it.
And this YouTuber decided to go with the PSA vault.
Interesting. Why do you think he chose that option?
He said he wanted flexibility. So with the PSA vault, he can hold on to his cards for a bit, decide if he wants to sell them or keep them.
Right.
If he went straight to the eBay vault, he'd have to sell them right away.
Makes sense.
And shipping them home, well, then he's got to deal with storing them and keeping them safe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the PSA vault is kind of like a holding area,
Right, yeah. Gives you some time to figure out your strategy.
Exactly.
So what if you do want to sell? How does that work through the PSA vault?
So it integrates with eBay.
Oh, really?
You can list your cards on eBay directly through the PSA app.
Wow. So you could basically submit, grade, and sell your cards all without ever actually having to touch them again.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's amazing.
It's super convenient.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this YouTuber did.
Okay.
He put most of his cards up for sale on eBay, all through the app.
Wow. Talk about easy.
I know, right?
But I'm sure there's like a fee difference, right?
Yeah, there is.
Between selling through PSA and selling on eBay yourself.
Exactly. And it's an important thing to consider.
Okay, so let's get into those numbers, break it all down.
We'll do that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Okay, so let's dive into those fees.
Yeah, let's break it down.
So if you're selling on eBay yourself, their fee is 12.35%.
Okay.
But if you sell through PSA, like using their eBay integration, it's 16%.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Especially if you're selling like, higher value cards.
Right, exactly. And the YouTuber actually did the math for his highest valued card. It sold for $90.
Okay.
And he would have made an extra $3 if he had sold it on eBay himself.
So like it's a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Convenience versus potential profit.
Exactly. And he really emphasized how PSA handles everything.
Right.
Like the payment processing, the shipping, any issues that come up.
Yeah, that's definitely appealing.
It's like having like a personal assistant for your card sales.
Totally, especially if you value your time and don't want to deal with all that.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a question, right?
Yeah.
Is that convenience worth giving up a little bit of potential profit?
It depends on the seller, I guess,
Right. Exactly.
Some people might be like all about maximizing those profits, and others are like, just make it easy for me.
Exactly. Now, remember that blind reveal we talked about where the YouTuber saw his grades but didn't know which card they belonged to?
Right. That was cool.
Well, it turns out you can actually see the specific grading notes in the PSA app.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see exactly why a card got the grade it did.
That's awesome. Like, what were they looking at,
Exactly. And he kind of wished he had known about that before he sold his Justin Fields card.
Oh, the one that got a PSA 7.
Yeah, he was curious about what might have held it back.
I get it,
Yeah.
Like, was it centering?
Right.
Or a surface scratch or something?
Totally. And he said he could have looked at the population report to see, like, how many other PSA 7s there were.
Okay.
But it's not the same.
All right, it's different when it's your card.
Exactly.
You want to know, like, the specifics.
For sure. Now, what about the PSA vault?
Yeah.
We talked about how the YouTuber liked the flexibility, so can you expand on that a bit?
Sure. So basically, the PSA vault is like secure storage for your graded cards.
Okay.
You can hold on to them, as long as you want.
Got it.
And decide to sell whenever you're ready.
Makes sense.
Like maybe you're waiting for, I don't know, the off season or something.
Right. Or like a player's hot streak.
Exactly.
So you have complete control.
Yeah. And while your cards are in the vault, they're insured by PSA.
Oh, that's good to know.
So you don't have to worry about like damage or theft or anything like that.
Peace of mind, for sure.
Right.
Now, remember those Anthony Richardson cards the YouTuber mentioned?
Yeah, the ones he was holding on to.
Yeah, he was waiting to see how Richardson performed before selling.
Did he give any updates on those?
He did, and this is interesting.
Yeah.
PSA actually sent him offers for some of them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like they're proactively trying to buy cards from collectors in their vault.
Wow, that's new.
It is. It's pretty cool. The YouTuber didn't accept the offers, but he said it was like really cool that they reached out.
I bet it's like they're really trying to create a market,
Yeah, like a more liquid market for graded cards.
Exactly. That's really interesting.
So the PSA vault, it's not just storage.
Right.
It's like a potential marketplace itself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, I know you're probably wondering about the specifics of selling through the vault and getting those payouts.
Yeah, for sure.
And we will cover all of that in the final part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
Okay, so let's get into those payouts. Like, how do you actually get paid when you sell through PSA?
Yeah, that's the important part, right?
Exactly. So to get his money from PSA, the YouTuber had to set up a Stripe account.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Stripe is like pretty standard for online payments these days, right?
Yeah, I think I use that for like a bunch of stuff, actually.
Yeah, so you just link your bank info to Stripe, and then PSA sends the money there once your card sells.
So it's like all pretty straightforward, nothing too complicated.
Super easy, yeah. And he said he got paid for all his cards within 3 days of the auction's ending.
Wow, that's quick.
I know, right?
Like no waiting around forever for your money.
Exactly. Oh, and remember how we talked about the YouTuber listing his cards individually on the app?
Yeah.
Well, he found out later that you can actually select multiple cards and list them on eBay all at once through the PSA website.
Oh, okay. So bulk listing is possible, but only on the website, not the app.
Right, exactly. It's a little bit of a quirk, but good to know if you're selling a lot of cards.
Yeah, for sure. Saves a lot of time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to touch on something the YouTuber emphasized about being really picky with the cards you submit.
Oh, right. Yeah, like choosing cards that are in really good condition.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're going for a PSA 10, you got to be super selective.
Makes sense. Those graders don't miss a thing.
They really don't. He even admitted that he probably missed some flaws on some of his cards.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a good reminder, quality over quantity.
Right. Better to submit fewer cards that are like pristine than a bunch that might have issues.
Totally. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are your final thoughts?
I think PSA has really made grading and selling so much easier.
Yeah.
Like you can do it all from your phone.
It's amazing.
But I think it's still important to do your research,
Yeah.
Understand the fees. Think about which selling option is best for you.
Right. It's all about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
Well said. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Especially in the world of collectibles. So happy collecting, everyone.
Happy collecting.
And don't forget to check out the show notes for links to the YouTuber's channel, Card Ladder, and the PSA website.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See you later.
So there you have it. Monday in the books, my very first podcast. We're going to mix things up a little bit because the videos aren't getting that many views anymore. So we'll mix some things up. We're going to do some different things. We're going to play some games. We're going to do a membership thing. We're going to do a bunch of box wars with my members and stuff. It's going to be fun. We're going to do some things. We're going to mix things up a little bit. But yeah, we're going to do some podcasts, though. We're going to do some funny stuff. I'm going to throw in some different things in, too. But also, I'm going to have all the links down below, in the description down below for all the PSA stuff if you guys are interested. And let me know in the comments down below if any of you ever tried this or done this, and let me know about your experiences in the comments down below. That way we all could read about it and find out more about this. Seems a little interesting. I want to know more about it. So there you have it. Thank you guys very much for listening. This is the Pack Attack Jackpot, and I'll see you guys on Christmas Day. I'm out. Peace.